Okay, so let's look on atmospheres inside the view. To access, you can click atmosphere on top, and you can notice we have a load atmosphere, F5. We can save atmosphere, add cloud layer, rain, snow, and atmosphere editor. By default, when you create new scenery, and let me just slightly move it so we can register, you'll notice right here you have it visual browser. We have it already preset of different type atmospheres that you can use it. Depend on what you're going after, you may use it different. Personally, I always like to start with the default because it's optimized, make much easier and fast working without any cloud layers. And when I'm done, with set up my scenery, I can go back and load it atmospheres after. So for example, here's a new scenery with the default, and if I want change and time when I work, for example, let's create a pyramid. Okay, drop down. Okay, here. So for example, I'm gonna select some sceneries right here. And when I'm done with this, I want to add atmosphere. I'm just going atmosphere load, and I have its same browser, visual browser, that I can select a different type of the atmosphere and after load it. Just that's workflow like I like to do because I like atmosphere work not almost last but closer to this, so it doesn't take too much overhead on render. Again, it's depend on how you work. Let's go back to atmosphere, and we'll just go back, restore to normal. What I want to go to look right now, it is on atmosphere editor. Okay, to access, you again can go from drop down, or we can go on top toolbar right here, and if we right click, we open selections, what happened before, or what I needed, it's a left click to go in atmosphere editor. You'll notice on the top we have 4 different models. Default is standard model. This was present till I think View 4, 3, and next was volumetric, and after spectral and environmental mapping. So we have all different mappings. Mode. Let's start with the standard. This is most simplest, the fastest render mode. However, you may use this mode sometimes, but I found that most people used only spectral and volumetric mode. In some games or other ones, you maybe want to use the environmental as well when you want to synchronize with movies or other. So let's look on the standard. You'll notice right under we have it forbid animation, atmosphere animation. When we check and you modify after your sun position or any other ones, they won't be automated. You can always disable this after in animation. By default, I leave this unchecked. We have also a series of the tabs, which was in previous version, except the new one was add rain and snow. This tab available during all modes. And we'll look this one as we're going along. So let's go first and look on the sun. You'll notice we have a sun color as well. If we click on the sun, we have a color right here of the object. So the difference is how much overall light it will produce. So let's go ahead and switch line sun. For example, let's look normal map to the red. Okay, and some you don't see directly effect of this because we don't position. So let's look, move sun closer and a little bit below. Okay, let's click OK. The sun will apply of the light when we look on that. So if we do see right here, we have a sun. So it doesn't apply actual light on a subject. It's apply light color only on the sun itself. How I mentioned right here, we have this option. However, if we change here and let's go change to the red at this point, you notice this is transmitting light from the sun. So here's our 2 different things. One, okay, let me go right here. We have a color of the sun. Okay, again, we can change this to absorb blue. And another color on the sun right in our sun properties, but this is transmitting light. So So let's go ahead, reset the color. You notice we reset it. So this is different. You maybe notice sometimes have pictures look kind of with interesting sun, more like in Japanese, Asian style. And let's probably use the standard mode with a sun color this way. Let me go reset at this point. And we don't really want to black sun. So I'm just go and set this to white. Okay, also you will notice when we was modifying color map, it is full color map. So we can modify colors this way, or we can double click and loaded colors directly from preset. Okay, as right here. Let's go ahead and render this, and I'm going to render on screen. Okay, and you can notice that our color changed from darker to lighter, corresponding from our schema what we said. So we go to modify this, for example. Okay, our light sun will be lighter here. So you can see you can still playing, and it's kind of very fun, interesting mode. Also we have position with the corresponding azimuth, height. We also can attach sun to direction to the camera. So what is meaning? When we take our main camera, you notice it's here. We'll start rotating. You notice our sun is rotating with our camera. So it's kind of position. In some cases it can be useful. Mostly it's you want probably uncheck. We have it also size of the sun, which correspond with a, okay, where's our sun? Let me bring back right here. And you can see how it will increasing in size. Size sun will correspond the same with other models. So you notice when we start working, it will be about the same. As well, we have a sun last masked by the clouds. It's how much it will cover over. So let's go ahead and create percent, and we'll just want to add maybe some clouds. Okay, you can see on the cover sun. Okay, so let's go to delete this one. Mostly of these properties, when you work with standard mode, you maybe want to modify size and color, and of course the position you will probably just readjust otherwise by moving. So let's look on the sun, on the light. A light, even in standard mode, we have it from standard, global ambient collision, global illumination, and global radiosity. They little bit not total of the standard. It's meaning global illuminations. It's simulating. It's not total calculations like maybe in Maya or other ones in Melton Ray. So a little bit different, but they work very close. Standard mode, again, this is the fastest render mode. But however, it doesn't give you right here. You can see it doesn't give you reflection light in other ones. So it's just simple mode. With this mode, what problem is creating, you don't have it bouncing light, and you don't have it some lightings from surfaces. Okay, let's go to global ambience. Okay, and also the global ambience, it's take in calculations also light of the sky, and you notice between these two modes, this is just take a light of the sun and it's calculating. And of course, if our sky is blue, it's taken in calculation a little bit more and apply this coloring overall. We also have an ambient occlusion, and this one we have it next step. It's actually taking and calculating steps toward the light source and calculating some other objects. So you maybe see some shadowing start appearing from close enough objects in this mode. However, it's simulating. It's not up to calculation totally. So let me bring this one a little bit closer. And right here, if we render, you can see it's kind of start a little bit shadowing applied, and it's taken calculation also where's the sun or what other light sources coming from. Okay, next we have a global illumination, And this model is improved over the ambient occlusion by tracing light rates all the way to the sky dome. As a result, you may see from other objects it make a little bit darker kind of look. And again, this is the better quality and most time provide very good result. However, it's not a complete tracing and adjustment. The next one is global radiosity. This is give you the most accurate and best result. And even right here in preview, you can see how it start light and color from after object start affecting the our object close enough. This is the most accurate light tracing, most accurate effect, and most time when we're using for any rendering, we will use the global radiosity. The one thing also know about this, when you have the animations, the light will calculate, it's very complex light calculation, and it will do between each frames, so it's take a long time. However, you have options to bake indirect light or other things in rendering, which is can speed up, but it is also bake this lighting. So if you don't have any object passing with direct, you kind of probably don't want to use it baking on that, but you want to use the object stationary like this and lights set at once. So okay, right here we have a different light modes. If you notice, each of them enable or disable additional options. In a standard mode, we don't have it shadows moving or options. However, we still have it global light adjustments, which is include light intensity, and this is straightforward, brighter or darker. However, notice we don't have it kind of effect on the shadows. We have it overall light color. And you notice different between sunlight color and light color. Light color produced here, and if we go change sunlight here to maybe green, okay, to compensate this. Okay, so let's go reset this color. We'll reset this one as well. Okay, next we have it light balance, and it's going between sunlight, which is going strong and ignore it all the possible ambient light, to the total ambient light. It's been distributed. This is more visible and kind of used when we start working with the global radiosity, for example, how you will create a rainy, maybe less distribution. If you go to global radiosity, set ambient, this may create a little bit more rainy look. Go back. As well, we have an ambient light distribution uniform from every point of the sky dome or directly from the sky. We also have options to modify ambient light colors, and in many tutorials what I like to do, it is actually or saturated this, which is give it a little bit more details in global radiosity mode, or desaturated but make it darker. This is another option. It's kind of increasing a bit more contrast. Of course, we go reset. Oops, let's go back and reset it. Next, we have settings apply to all lights that using in our scenery. Only sunlight is what we're doing right now, and to the sky and clouds as well. Just help on the editing. Below we have it decay on the sun, so when sun going down lower, we can apply how much decay of the lighting we can apply and rate of decay as well. So let's make a little bit stronger sunset. Think about this one light and how many particles will absorb in the air from our sun. Okay, let's look on global ambience. Some options still be same, except now we have options to get a sky dome gain, so increase light as well as a lighting on the dome. So we can go modify it, and you can see right here instead of blue we have it red. Okay, as well we can increase overall lighting of sky dome, or go back to normal, or decrease, make it darker. These options you can modify with the global ambience to create maybe night look or evening or other properties. Okay, on a global ambient, we also now start calculating, if you remember, shadows. So we have it shadows moving at this point. We have it range, how long it will calculating from shadows. Ambient, same sky dome gain, same color, so it's similar, only we add a little bit more. Think about shadow smoothness and more better calculating on the shadow reflecting from other global illuminations. We don't have it a range at this point, but we still have its same properties, and global arrays still have it, all of them, because at this point we don't need simulated, we don't need range, we truly calculating bouncing. It's the same as the artificial ambience. If you look before, we have it here because it's simulating. Right here we don't need it because we're truly calculating by the path of the rays and bouncing. We have an indirect skylighting enabled, indirect atmosphere. Some of them you want disabled, depend if you're doing inside outdoor or indoors, as well the optimize outdoor rendering. So by default it's enabled. If you want to render inside the building, you probably want to check. We also have it base is a color and gain increase. So let's say we want increasing. Right here you can see base of reflection is increasing, how much the light's bouncing. We can decrease down, and in some cases you maybe want even set lower, so the bouncing as base is decreasing. Let's go back to 1. Okay, same apply with the shadow smoothing right here, and this value, if you want to have it softer kind of look, a little bit dusty, you can increase this, but shadow smoothing will create, I think, a little bit more noise when you start doing this. However, it does provide a little bit better effect, so it's kind of nice balance between. And also you can apply quality boost on your atmosphere rendering. Let's go to the sky, and because this is a standard atmosphere, this is a little bit different. So if you look on the volumetric or spectral, you kind of don't have really sky tab, so it is unique kind of to the standard model. And right here you can see you can set from zenith to horizon. So from here, color change, we can go and modify mode. For example, we can go and select darker, for example, okay, and increasing. You also can modify map height and altitude. Okay, so let's go this way. As well, you can modify sky color distortions by the sun, so it's how much affecting. Change right here. The fog in the sky, it's a thickness, it's right here, you can see a bit wider. So if we go decreasing, you can see how darker. This is apply the altitude for this fog and for the thickness. So the thicker it is, the wider it is right here. So even we dark on horizon, but because our fog was very thick, it's look kind of wider. Let me take main camera, put it a little bit up so we can observe better. And also we can increase height, altitude for our fog. Again, this is very simplistic, it's standard model. And in most cases you probably won't use it, but it's nice to know it's there, because if you do illustrations, and in some cases simplicity is work very well in this case. Okay, we have it clouds. One thing is kind of know about clouds, that even we're going and add spectral clouds, but they do not support by atmosphere. So as example, if we open this, you can see the clouds look kind of weird because spectral, they don't support by these atmospheres. So if you work with this, you probably want to use it a little bit more clouds from other ones, previous versions, so they kind of a little bit blend better together. Okay, with the clouds, we also have it options add, delete multiple clouds. We can modify clouds by clicking on materials. Okay, we also can just make them visible and invisible right here, just clicking on an eye icon, and you can see they will be rendered. It just in case if you want to keep them not deleted but don't want render. Below we have options for the atmosphere changing. As well, we can apply just randomizing algorithm. You don't want to look exactly the same. Scale, we can modify loaded different, or we can go double click and go modify directly materials. We'll look on those ones in our material tutorials. Below we have it for animations with the simple directions, in a way clouds need move, velocity, and rate of change. Velocity is how fast they're moving, and rate of change how fast algorithm applied and change shape inside. Okay, also we have it for these specific clouds, and it will be different, a bit more properties when we start using with other clouds. We have it altitude, thickness near horizon, cover overall 100% or just little bit on the clouds. Okay, we can actually decrease altitude, put it a little bit down. Let's increase thickness near horizon. We can global explosions, which is make darker, obviously, or lighter. And some darker effect will relate it to the ambient light. Okay, it's right here. We also have it, what it says, the ambient light. So sunlight and a little bit more to ambient. So if we go and modify red, you'll notice right here as a ambient light has become red, what lights we set, and to the sunlight, currently it's lower, so it's kind of brighter right here. Okay, we also have a contrast on our clouds. Global illuminations will help. Again, this is all related to the clouds. So overall, again, how much illuminated on the clouds, as well as illumination near the sun. So it's kind of when you start closer, you can see they kind of start illuminating a little bit better closer to the sun around. Okay, let's go check fog and haze. This is additional options where we can increase thickness of the fog on the bottom right here. Okay, fallout, and it's kind of help us to see fallout. It's how sharper will be this edge right here. Okay, next we have it for gathering on a lower altitude. Currently we can also switch on a higher, so above the ground. Next we have it haze, which allowed us overall density of atmosphere. So think in a standard, think it is creating, like, put it white or whatever color you selected up front, and have it opacity. So it's not as accurate, of course, as if we're doing spectral or even volumetric mode, but it still kind of give it some disability. These numbers, example, if you're going to 1000, you can actually type even more if you need it. So all this, you cannot just work just only by the slider. In many ways, you can just go inside, and if you need it like 100%, you can type more than that, and it will accept this as well. And next we have wind, and this is affecting on the trees. Again, the view will support versions from 4 and up, because there's some plans was applying animations on a breeze. If you have early versions, the breeze and wind won't work on the plants, and because mechanics was changed. Overall, this is effect. Again, this is a global effect where you can specify wind, breeze quality, and also you can preview. The sum of these options can be changed, and we'll look on this one specifically a little bit more when we start work with ecosystem. Next we have effects. This is the overall star effects, and this is will apply the effect type. Wind effect and rain and snow will apply to the volumetric spectral modes. So you can see they will be same thing. So let's go in effect. We have it simple as a star. Well, let me go and delete the clouds. We don't need this. Okay, we'll go to effects. We can create the stars, number of the stars, how bright we want it. If you want twinkle or make kind of like almost light layer on them, and colorize, make black and white or color some. Next we also can enable a rainbow, and rainbow will go on another side with a secondary bow. Let's put some intensity, fallout, and actually if we take sun, okay, and just move it, we can find the position where actually rainbow will display for us. We also have ice rings. This is applied directly on the sun. Right here you can see the ice rings applied. This is all some simple effects that you can apply as in natural. You can observe. You can apply all of them or none, so it's up to your creativity. Next we also have it environmental map, so you can apply and use it. But one thing to know about this is not just place a camera up front. This is will select and create dome all over the our scenery. So for example, if we go right here, we'll select, let's apply even a map. You can see how it's stretching if we take a camera, and you can see we can absorb. So it's creating through all dome, and of course you have it select just upper atmosphere only, so it doesn't display below ground. Okay, but again, this is will go around everything. As well, you can have it upset, exposure, contrast, and other options. So let's check. And effect, we have it default lens flare for the sun. And you can select this way, or you can directly select on the sun, so it's up to you. To all suns or lights, you can also access lens flare, and we'll look on specific lens flare in different tutorial. A reflection map, if you created, for example, this pyramid, and for example, you want to have it reflection apply to pyramid by, we don't have it anything up front, so let me go check this to the mirror, like right here. We can go ahead, select map, okay, and it will be apply when we render to our materials. Okay, you also can offset, okay, inverse it. So it's very standard interface. Rain and snow, this is applied to all, and we'll look a little bit more on this when we start working with spectral mode.